Welcome to the France 24 Observers. This show is based on our network of observers. They're ordinary people who tell us what's going on where they are and send in photos and videos to document it. We check everything here in Paris and bring the best to you. We begin today in Burma. The country is moving steadily toward greater democracy with the blessing of the country's former military rulers. Just look at former prisoner Aung San Suu Kyi's recent visits abroad. But Burma still has a long way to go. In Transparency International's ranking of corruption in 182 countries, Burma is the third worst. Here's our observer in Rangoon, who we call Colin.
In the video, you see policemen taking bribes. They flag buses down as they go past. You see the driver get out and come over to the police to give them a bribe. Or the buses have to pay up. It's plain old corruption, and it's illegal. What's surprising is that the police don't even bother to hide what they're doing. They do it right out in the open. But it happens all the time, all across the country. A big bus has to pay about 500 yats. A small one has to pay 200. In Burma, the police take bribes on all kinds of things. On illegal lotteries, for instance. They're very popular here. They're held everywhere. The government says it's going to crack down on corruption, but there's not much they can do because there's corruption in every branch of the state. There are publications now that are starting to criticize the corruption, especially on the internet. Burmese people are getting more and more active online. Things are changing. There's been enormous progress in the last year.
Next up, more reaction from the Muslim world to the US-made film or film trailer, Innocence of Muslims. Now, I'm not talking about Muslim rage. That's what the American magazine Newsweek calls it. The images of angry men in beards burning American flags. I'm talking about other Muslims around the world who thought the film was stupid and insulting, but had a different response. Here's Naif Sheikh in London.
What we have done, we've started giving out copies on the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and also we are distributing the copies of the Quran, the Holy Quran, the Holy Book of the Muslims around UK and Ireland, so that people can understand and read the message by themselves instead of just listening to something or watching something that has been made by an individual who wants to portray the image of Islam in the wrong way. As Muslims, we do not take the religion of Christianity or Judaism as something different. When we look at the religion by ourselves, when we look at the laws implemented in each religion, we find the similarities. There were 2 or 3 incidents where people actually took the book and threw it in the dustbin. But majority of the people, when they saw it, you had one person throwing the book and you had 10 more people coming and saying, you know what, give me the book and I will read into it. A peaceful protest is the right of every individual living in any part of the country. That is the first thing. When it comes to something which is harming other people, we know that this is something which is not allowed in Islam, and that should not take place. When we have 1.57 billion people, why are we not showing the image of organizations that are doing the work in promoting a better understanding? Why only show the imagery that where people are protesting in an aggressive way?
Now for our weekly roundup of images and stories sent in by our observers. First stop, Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo, known for its gorillas and chimps. Director Emmanuel de Merode tells us the animals are getting more and more dangerous for humans. There have been attacks in villages in the region, sometimes deadly. In June, a group of chimps killed a baby girl who was strapped to her mother's back. The root problem, Emmanuel says, is man. We cut down trees to build houses, pushing the apes out of their habitat and into contact with humans. Another game park now, this time Kruger in South Africa with William Mabasa. The park is asking traditional healers to help protect its rhinos. More than 400 South African rhinos have been killed by poachers this year. At Kruger, the healers, known as Sangoma, pray to their ancestors to curse the poachers. It's hard to say whether it's having an effect, William says. But the hope is it will at least make some poachers think twice before killing a rhino. Our last stop today is Aracaju in northeastern Brazil. The city has erected a 5-meter-high statue to its heroes. They're not soldiers or politicians, but the men and women who collect the city's garbage. A rare tribute to a profession that was once insulted by a well-known TV presenter as being at the bottom rung of Brazilian society. That's all for this week. As always, you can find more reports from our observers on our website, on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and on our iPhone app. See you next time, here or online.